My go-to electrical guy, Luke Strange. Luke, how are you doing? It's good to see you.
Hey, doing great. Good to see you.
Cool Hand Electric. Before we get into this question, I just want to compliment you on the name of your company and the branding of it. It's really a cool name, pun intended. And
Thank you.
it's important to have that good feeling when you call a company out. You don't want some beat up van or truck with a technician looking like the truck and van beat up, right? And so you guys have done a
Sure.
fantastic job. I wanted to compliment you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That's very
Yeah.
kind.
A questions come in, and that's why I have you come onto the program. You are my expert when it comes to electrical. EV charging stations at home. So the gas powered car still very, very popular, but today many people want to go the EV route. And what's really cool about it is instead of having to go to a charging station somewhere, when you come home from work, you charge it up at night, and then when you leave in the morning, it's fully charged. Can you talk about how you can help your customers bring the appropriate power from the home's electrical panel to that charging station? And then I have another question to add on to that. Do you include that, or do they get that with the car, the charging station? Where does that come from?
Okay. Yeah. Um, so to answer question number one, depending on what vehicle they end up deciding to get, there's going to be some that are better than others. Like Ford has a really cool one it has about 80 to 100 amp option that it can run the house, in case of needing power in a storm. So it can backfeed. So there's a special station for that. And normally when they're buying the vehicle, that brand vehicle has what they recommend. And if you think about it, the batteries that go with those are pricey. So you definitely want to follow the manufacturer's recommendations on that. But there are some really good options of like third party companies that sell those, that have some different features that, if they buy it, we can help guide them if they don't have it. But most of the time when they have an electric vehicle or EV vehicle, they've done research and they know what charger is best. You're going to want something that's going to pull as much power as possible to get you charged up as quickly as possible. So, but all of them have those options. And, and they're going to have to do the research on it. There's so many out there right now. They're going to have to do the research. But if it's a Tesla, get you the Tesla brand is awesome. But there's some better ones. There's cool ones out there too. So, he's going to have to really study that. So we can point him in the right direction. There's just so many that, it kind of depends on your lifestyle. If you really want to app and have all the data of all your equipment and have all this controls, or you just want plug and play. So I don't know if that's very helpful in that, but
Yeah. And so I would imagine if you want one of these charging stations in your garage, which I think is just super cool, much like if you were going to add a mini split or some type of air conditioning system, you're going to want to bring Cool Hand Luke in to assess a situation, bring the right power from the panel to the charging unit instead of just saying, well, let me just plug this in willy nilly anywhere, right? It really needs to be installed right with a dedicated circuit, I would imagine.
no, absolutely. So for convenience sake, they have adapters that when it comes with it, it can plug into a regular wall outlet and it'll give you a charge. Maybe you'll get 60 to 70% full on, an 8-hour night of charging. So it's not that great on a little wall outlet, and it pulls a lot of power when it's doing that. So yes, for convenience factors, you can have a full charge within a couple of hours, and then you don't have to worry about it. And it would be like a breaker size like this, like a 50 amp. Most of them, that's pretty standard. And it would have two 40 volts coming out. So instead of the regular ones just have one line, this one has two. So it's big power coming out. And I brought this out here. Some of the things that, if you are trying to get it quoted, let's say this is your bus bar where the breaker would connect to it. You want to have this bus bar inspected A lot of guys, there's open spaces down here and they'll just put it down at the bottom. But that bus bar might not be able to handle that power all the way at the bottom here. There's codes where you don't want to actually add a whole bunch of power. It depends on where you space it. So having it up high, the big loads up high is going to be a good thing. And then if the bus bar is in bad shape, that's some of the issues I've seen where it can, cause that's a lot of power going through your house that wasn't wired for it. Now, newer houses, some of them are coming with those now, but if you're getting a new house, ask for it and specify what you want. And then what we do a lot of times, if it's planned out, there, you can do a cord and plug. And that's a good thing, but having it hardwired in is the best. You get good connections, and then, make sure the installer of it torques it to spec. There's a spec, and a lot of electricians don't do this for some reason. I don't know why, but I shouldn't say most, a lot of electricians though that I've seen don't have a torque screwdriver. They have the wrench. A lot of times they'll do the wrench. That's been around for a while, but the screwdriver itself, and if you don't torque that to the right setting, it's pulling big power, and you can have some real issues with your car if you don't have that installed properly. So those are some things to consider. Make sure that they're going to do that. There's also, if it's in the garage, they want that GFCI protected if it's following the most recent code. So that's another little complication. So it's not a super simple installation. It seems simple, and you'll see a lot of advertisements for those, but the guys that come out to do that, be wary if someone doesn't come out to the house and actually look at your panel and just gives you a lowball price. Be wary of that, because they're probably not trained on it. They're probably, it's a popular thing. So they're probably just, I shouldn't say they are. It depends, but a lot of companies are just kind of doing that as an advertisement to get out there. But you need to be out there to actually investigate the bus bar to see if we can actually add power to this. If otherwise it can cause some serious damage throughout, but they're cool. They're really cool. There's a lot of, great electric cars out there. I mean, it's a neat product. It's not going away. And every design that they're coming out with has, like, these apps that you can log in are sweet. You can see how fast you want it to charge. You can tell it, hey, I want to charge it this time, and this is going to save me this much energy, or I want it fully charged, or not. I think most of the batteries now, they want them at about 90% charge. They don't want to go over 90% for the longevity of that battery. So it gives you reports. It's really slick. I'm impressed with it. I think the technology is getting better and better. And, it's a learning curve. A lot of electricians don't like it because it's new, it's different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But like you said, it's here to stay, and it's going to continue to evolve. And it may not look in the future as what it looks like today, because everything's moving so fast in terms of technology. Luke, as always, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for the education today.
Absolutely.